Exercise can be an important part of relieving the symptoms of depression. Exercise has a positive effect on the mood of both healthy people and those suffering from depression. However, apart from mood, they can also improve an important component of our mental functioning, which is emotional reactivity. Current treatments for depression mainly focus on the use of psychopharmacology. Medications improve well-being and are effective in alleviating some adverse changes in emotional reactivity, but long-term use can lead to potentially harmful side effects. Previous research has shown that an alternative, cheap, accessible to everyone and devoid of undesirable effects, may be physical exercise. As we know, exercise has a positive effect on health. It is often talked about in the context of improving sleep, lowering blood pressure, lowering cholesterol, etc. But recently, it has been increasingly noticed that activity also improves mood and cognitive functioning, i.e., it has an impact on our mental state. It has a positive effect on both healthy people and people suffering from depression. However, much less attention has been paid to date to their impact on emotional reactivity. And taking into account the general beneficial effect of exercises on mood, it can be expected that they will also have a positive impact on this variable, says Dr. Thomas Liggeser from the Institute of Psychology of the Jagiellonian University. The way we respond to emotions is very important for our mental functioning. For example, people who are characterized by higher emotional reactivity quickly react to even small stimuli with a high level of anxiety, while people with lower reactivity do not notice them at all. In healthy people, reactivity is constant, which means that they respond with similar intensity to both negative and positive stimuli. This tendency is disturbed in people with depression. They process negative stimuli more strongly and positive ones much less. For example, when we show people with depression photos of sad faces, images of suffering, etc., their emotional response will be much greater than when we show them something nice, beautiful cats, laughing children, explains a researcher from the Jagiellonian University. Our previous studies involving healthy people suggested that emotional reactivity after exercise changes for the better, i.e., positive stimuli are processed more strongly and negative ones less strongly. You could say that the brain begins to filter what is pleasant and inhibit what is negative. Besides, we all notice that we feel better mentally after exercising, he says. Dr. Liggeser and his colleagues decided to check whether even a single exercise session is able to change the cognitive and, above all, emotional functioning of a person. It has previously been proven that participation in a long-term training program brings undeniable benefits, for several months, several times a week. I wanted to check what the change looks like after 1/2-hour session of aerobic exercise, such as cycling, says the scientist. The study, the results of which were published in the journal Psychophysiology, included 24 people with depression and 24 healthy people, constituting the control group. Their mood and emotional reactivity were assessed before and after 2 experimental protocols. In the first one, participants performed moderate intensity exercises for 36 minutes. And in the second one, they remained at rest for the same time. When assessing the functioning of the participants, we focused on their mood and the so-called emotional reactivity. We measured the variables we were interested in, compared the state before and after, and also whether the state after differed on the day when people were training and when they were simply resting, explains Dr. Ligiza. While participants self-reported their mood, their emotional reactivity was measured using EEG. During the measurement, the researchers showed them standardized photos with different stimulation rates. For example, a photo of a smiling couple is low in arousal, while images depicting erotic scenes or great sports emotions are high in arousal. It is the same with negative emotions. A photo of a sad face stimulates low levels. A photo of a serious car accident stimulates high levels, the researcher points out. It turned out that in both groups, healthy people and those suffering from depression, the mood significantly improved after exercise. In patients, this effect was even stronger. Here the increase was really very large, emphasizes the scientist. However, in the case of reactivity, the researchers' hypotheses were only partially confirmed. We have confirmed that in healthy people, exercise improves the reaction to positive stimuli and reduces the reaction to negative ones. However, in people with depression, this effect was, contrary to our expectations, small. This is probably due to the fact that they generally have lower emotional reactivity, says Dr. Ligiza. The scientist explains that psychologists call this state emotional blunting. This is a known effect that results from, among others, this is due to the fact that in depression the level of energy expenditure generally decreases, which causes the body to be in a state of slight hibernation. Therefore, a single exercise session cannot reverse the physiological changes in the brain that are responsible for reduced emotional reactivity. However, based on other research, it can be assumed that a longer training program, e.g. several sessions, would result in significant changes also in this area, summarizes Dr. Ligiza. What is important in our study is that the mood of the sick participants improved so much. Although there were no obvious changes at the brain level in people with depression after a single exercise session, they were very significant at the mood level. In turn, healthy people recorded great benefits in both of these fields, the researcher emphasizes. Additional analyses conducted on both groups revealed that exercise-induced changes in emotional reactivity depended on the severity of depression symptoms. The effectiveness of activity in improving this parameter decreased with the severity of depression symptoms.